auntie, you are leaving, you never find something for us. My eyes were like, is there any lovely Nayeni here? Sorry, you would have to go to the other side. At that point, I was so worried already that, hey, what's going on? Why did they bring me here? Why are they taking some people there? Hey, is everything okay like this? I was getting really agitated because wonderful people, welcome back to my channel, and it's so good to have you back here again. Thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, you're welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. Please don't forget to like this video, don't forget to leave a comment. If you're not yet a subscriber, please do that, and if you're already a subscriber, thank you. Don't stop watching my video. So by now you probably already know that I just landed in Canada a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, I already shared my travel vlogs with you, and today I'm just going to tell you my travel gist, basically everything that went down on my travel day, from Nigeria to Addis Ababa to Dublin and then to Toronto and finally to Ottawa. So I'm just going to give you a breakdown of everything that went down that day. And if you're interested in this gist, because it's going to be helpful and it's also going to be, interesting, don't leave, make sure you watch till the very end. So let's start from the beginning. My flight for Nigeria was supposed to leave Nigeria 1:40 p.m. Nigeria time and arrive at Addis Ababa before 7 p.m. Nigerian time, before 9 p.m. Addis Ababa time. But something happened, and yeah, we eventually arrived around 7:05 Nigeria time. Now I'm already jumping this gist. Let me go back and start from the beginning. So like I said, my flight from Nigeria was 1:40 p.m. I got to the airport few minutes past 9, and yes, I headed towards Ethiopian Airline check-in section. I don't know what's called check-in section. So for the help of man and for the help of God, it was very seamless. I didn't do much. Yeah. When I checked in at Ethiopia Airline, they checked in my bag, they checked my luggages, and they just weighed it. The one of my bag was overweight, but the person that checked me in was really kind, and she just said, oh, because it was just slightly overweight. I think it was 24 kg, and I was supposed to have 23 kg. But my other bag was just 22 kg, so maybe that was why, I don't know, she just allowed me check it in. And then I was also lucky enough to and I got the window seat and everything. I was given a yellow card to fill. So by the time I was done with that, I had enough time. It wasn't even 10 o'clock yet, and yeah, I think it was about 9:30 or 9:40 or thereabout, I cannot remember. So I had time to chill with my family members and we just ate and we chatted, and by 12 o'clock it was time for me to head towards immigration. And to my boarding gate, first officer I met there, he asked for my passport, he checked my passport, he checked my passport, and he just said I could go. And when I was done there, I headed for immigration. At immigration, they will ask you for that yellow card that I was given at the checkpoint. So I brought out the yellow card, and I was also told to write where I was going behind the yellow card. So they just checked my passport, checked the yellow card, confirmed where I was going to, and yes, when I was done, I moved on to another section where I had to put all my things in a bucket. I brought out my laptop, the chair, brought out my laptop, and they did all of that, and I put them inside a bowl and all of that. Nobody asked me to take off my earrings, by the way. I don't know, because there's a place where they always tell people, I think I've heard people say that, they have to take off their earrings and all of that, but nobody told me to take off my earrings. So it was just my laptop and my bag and everything I was carrying, my waist pouch, my winter jacket. I kept them in a bowl, and then the bowl went through one particular place like that. And then I went through a machine where you stand. There's a sign of 2 feet there, so your 2 feet have to be placed on that place, and you have your hands raised up like this, and I think it will scan you. And yes, when you're done, you head towards where you pick up your bag. They probably check your bag. They checked mine, and yeah, it was fine. I was good to go, because you're not supposed to carry anything liquid that is above 100 ml into the airplane. So I was good to go because I didn't have anything inside my bag, and I headed towards custom. At that custom site, there was a particular man there. He just said that, oh, they're just there to cancel me, and then he cancelled me to be of good conduct where I'm going to not keep bad company and not forget where I'm coming from. And yeah, I was good. He checked my passport, he asked where I was going to, and then I moved straight to custom. They asked that, oh, how much do I have with me? I said I had so amount, and they were like, oh, can they see? I brought it out, and the man was like, oh, are you sure that if I check inside your bag, I'm not going to see more money? And I said no, that this is all I have. And he was like, okay, fine, you can go. So I headed towards my boarding gates, and they were already, not even a number, a lot of people already, they were there. So I joined the queue. They didn't even check my bag, they requested for my passport and my travel ticket. I showed them my ticket, and they were like, oh yeah, move. Then I moved to the next person. The next person also just asked for my travel ticket. Yeah, that was done. Then I moved on to the next set of people. They checked my luggage. They just deep down inside, did all the things they had to do, and there was nothing. And then they were like, auntie, you are leaving. You never find something for us. You are leaving us here. I had like few nairas left on me. It was just change I had left, so I gave it to them. And we sat down and we were waiting for them to call us. In the process of sitting, we got a mail and a message. I didn't even know. It was somebody that sat next to me and I said, they just sent a message saying that the flight will be delayed and will be landing by 9 p.m. Like I said earlier, we're supposed to land before 9 p.m. at Addis Ababa time. So they said that, there'll be a few minutes delay and we'll be landing 9 p.m. at Addis Ababa time, which wasn't even a bad time because it just had like few minutes difference and all. Yeah, and in no time they started calling us to board. They started with the business class first and families. Family being that you have children or you have a kid. Like, because I noticed that when a particular family like stood up to join, they were like, oh, do you have kids? They said no. Then they said, oh, please sit. So yeah, when those ones were done, they started calling us zone by zone. Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4. I think I was in Zone 3. So, yes, and I headed for the plane and I headed to enter and I found my seats and I sat. I had like 2 really cute kids next to me. So it was really like I had space. In fact, the other kid that was sitting right next to me, he eventually changed the seat to go and sit somewhere else. And so like it was really free, there was space. The journey went so well, it was so smooth. I couldn't sleep though because when they came to ask me tea or coffee, I went to go and collect coffee. And I think the coffee is actually really stronger than what I'm used to taking in Nigeria. My eyes were like all through my journey from Nigeria to Addis Ababa. And I was so like, I was tired, but I wasn't tired at the same time. So yes, we ate, and then a few minutes later, that was when they came to ask that, do you want tea or coffee or juice? I went to go and collect coffee, and I could not sleep. Yeah, so at exactly 9:05 we landed in Addis Ababa, and when we landed there were buses waiting to pick us up. I think maybe from that point to where we're supposed to head for the airport, maybe it was a bit of a distance, because it was actually a bit of a distance because we rode on the bus for like 3 minutes or so. I didn't check the time, but I don't think it was more than 3 minutes. And yeah, by the time we entered into the airport, we saw people running, and the person that I was working with was like, I don't understand why people are rushing. Although I had watched a couple of videos of people talking about how the 2 hours layover that you have in Addis Ababa, you're going to spend the 2 hours on your feet. You're not going to sit. The next time you're going to sit is when you're boarding your plane to Toronto. Like, I felt like it can't be that bad, but almost it was, it felt like Buddha Ultimate Search. And as soon as people started, by the time we got there, like the place was packed, filled up. Addis Ababa airport was filled up, and we were trying to navigate over, and they were like, oh, as long as you're connecting your flights, everybody's supposed to be on this queue. So we were moving. The queue was so long, and we were moving. It was moving, not like the queue wasn't moving. It moved. We checked in. We had to take off our shoes, put all your bags, bring out your laptop. They'll check, you pass, you go, do this one, you go again. Then we started this waka again. We moved. We got to another point, same thing. Take off your shoes, your hands up. They will check you. You'll be done. Then we moved again to the next one. In that next place, I don't think we didn't have to take off our shoes there. They just checked our passports. And then because the flight to Toronto was leaving soon, they had to tell some people that maybe their flights were not leaving soon, should wait. In fact, some people that were leaving for Chicago, their flights was already late, because I remember the person that sat in front of me, he was saying that, God, his flight is for 9:30 and 9:05 was when we landed. And you know the way, if you're not, like, it's business class that get out first, so we had to, like, it took time. So I think as soon as we were landing, people were already coming to say, flight for Chicago, if you're leaving for Chicago, couldn't come, come. So, they will definitely give priority to those that maybe their flights are connecting immediately. So yes, and back to where we stopped. So they checked passport, they checked your ticket, and they said that, you can go. When you finish there again, you go to where you off your shoe again. We still took off I think we took off our shoes like 3 times, not even twice. We took off our shoes again, bring out your laptop, put your bags. I did everything, and we headed towards where we were going to board, and a lot of people again. And yes, finally we boarded, just like they did from Nigeria, business class and families first. So they did that, and finally I boarded. And this time for my flight from Addis Ababa to Toronto, I had 2 Indians next to me. They were really nice, and like, Indians are actually really sweet. Like, I feel like we took off in no time. The flight from Addis Ababa to Toronto was okay. I feel like the flights, Ethiopia Airline, the Ethiopia flights from Addis Ababa, they are really cuter. Not cuter, but like, they are finer and more sophisticated from the ones that they use for us in Nigeria, because by the time we got on the flight there, they already had socks, toothpaste, toothbrush, and Shaw on everybody's seat already. Because when I asked for Shaw on the flight I took from Nigeria, the lady told me that it had finished. So, but this one, everybody they already arranged everything on the seats before we even got on the plane. So time we took off, and yeah, at this point I was already very uneasy. My body was already doing one kind. I just wanted to be done, and I had like 13 hours flight ahead of me. So, but I think the first 6 or 7 hours, I cannot remember. I'll probably indicate them, like write them in the video. I can't remember how many hours. The first 7 hours we were supposed to travel from Addis Ababa to Dublin. Then we were going to have like 1 hour layover in Dublin. I'm jumping. Let me go back. So we boarded, and yes, we ate again. They gave us lunch, and it was still the same rice, but this time I collected rice and chicken. If I had known, I would have collected rice and beef, because it was rice and beef I ate on the flight from Nigeria to Addis Ababa, because the rice and chicken was just one kind. I don't know, it was just, I think it was the chicken sauce that was the issue, but I ate it, I was hungry. So it was basically the same thing they gave us on our flight from Nigeria, was also the same thing they gave us on our flights to, on our flights from Addis Ababa to Toronto. But something was different. Instead of vegetables that they gave us one thing that was looking like rice. I don't know, I could not eat that one. That was the only thing I didn't eat. And yes, we ate, same thing, come back again, tea or coffee. Before we even ate, as soon as we boarded, everybody was actually asking for water, which I understood. Like, I understand everybody, because imagine being on your feet 2 hours, and it's not like you're sitting, you're moving, you're on a queue, you're carrying load. The mistake I still made was I went to go and carry traveling bag as my hand luggage. I'll never make that mistake again in my life. So just use a suitcase as your hand luggage, something that you can just drag next to you. Like, it makes your life easier. And yes, we boarded and the journey began. They gave us food, we ate. The Indian lady that was next to me, I wanted to ask her what she added in her stew, because as soon as, the pilot made the announcement and we took off, she slept. Me, I could not sleep. I was very uneasy, I was uncomfortable, like my body was I was restless. It wasn't like, I wasn't tired, but I was just restless and uneasy. Imagine being boxed in a space for like so long, and now you're about to begin another long journey. So yes, we started. Finally, I tried to watch movies. So eventually, I listened to Jackie's EP. Was it EP or album? I can't remember. So I slept a bit. I finally slept, and we're supposed to stop at Dublin for an hour for refueling after maybe 7 hours of flying from Addis Ababa. So we stopped at Dublin. for referral, which was supposed to be an hour, but we ended up spending 2 hours 30 minutes for some reasons that I did not understand. I think they said that the first truck that they had brought for referral, maybe something was wrong, and they had to like now do another paperwork for another truck to come, because I was actually looking out to see, I could see the truck, because I noticed that there was a point when there was a truck and that truck left and another truck came, so I think they had to like request another truck. And when we were done in Dublin, in fact, by the time we were leaving Dublin, they had like, it was daybreak already, like not like proper daybreak, but the day was breaking already. So we finally left Dublin and we headed for Toronto. Yes, and yes, we were moving. Same thing, we ate again. They gave us, what did they give us? Oh, this time when we were leaving Dublin, we had breakfast. It was one really nice sandwich. There was no chicken in the sandwich or anything, but it really tasted so good. I liked it so much. So we had sandwich, and we had sandwich and tea or coffee or juice, anything of your choice. And we had that, and the journey started, and we moved, and yeah, when we were like 2 hours away from Toronto, then we had breakfast. We had lunch, not breakfast. They gave us food again. They gave us rice again. And I generally requested for beef this time. I did not collect chicken again because I did not like the chicken last time. So I had requested beef, and yes, I had beef, rice and beef, the same bread, wheat, cookies, juice, water. I drank water a lot on the flight from Addis Ababa to Toronto because I was so dehydrated and my nose was paining me. It felt like my nose was going to break, like very sensitive. So the slightest thing irritates my nose. My nose was so painful. I could not even like touch my nose. That was how cold it was. And thank God, then we finally arrived in Toronto. And in this life, ask questions, especially if it's your first time flying or your first time going. So as soon as I got down, I decided to look out for students also like me, so that we can know where we're headed for together. And it made it very easy. There was an officer there that was saying, "No, arrive can to this side, no, arrive can to this side." And yes, I had arrive can, so I had, filled in arrive can and declared before I left Nigeria. So I joined the queue to arrive can. I scanned my passport, but for some reasons it didn't print out what I was supposed to print out for me. So I headed to an officer who, attended to me, and then he collected my passport and he said, "Oh, hey, welcome to Canada, where you headed for?" And then I answered him, and he said, "Oh, what happened? Was I not on the arrive can queue?" And then I said yes, that he didn't print out the receipt. And then he said, "Oh, okay, that's fine." Then he asked, "What do I have? Did I come in with any?" He asked, "Did I come in with any tobacco or anything?" I said no. He said, "Oh, did I come in with what food stuff did I come in with? Like maybe snacks, chips?" And I said yes, that I came in with chips, snacks, and other food stuff, but I didn't come in with any dairy or chicken product. Then he printed out the receipts. On the place where they have like food, blah blah blah, he just wrote okay there and marked, and he wrote a number. So I headed towards where I was going to get my study permit. Bear in mind that there are going to be officers everywhere to like direct you. So like I said, don't be shy to ask for help. Ask questions. You don't want to go and be, you don't want to go and make any mistake, or what would have taken you maybe 30 minutes, you end up spending 3 hours. You will see a lot of people. In fact, by the time you see somebody, you will know when someone is a student. You will easily know. So don't be shy to ask questions. So like the officers around to say, "Oh, this place for students, this place for if you're connecting your flight, blah blah blah." So they showed me where to go to, and I entered there. And then we were so many. As they're coming in, an officer is also there to say, "Oh, give me your can I have your letter of introduction?" And then you had to go and sit down, the letter of introduction, and then you can go and sit. So I submitted my letter of introduction and I went to sit. And then in no time, an officer came out again with printed study permit, and he would start calling you and say, "Oh, go to this desk, see the officer there, go to desk 43, there's an officer there." And then they will call you, give you the permit, tell you to pack your things and go to the desk to see the officer there. And they called my name, ready for the man to say, "Oh, is there any lovely Nayeni here?" I said yes. He he said, oh, sorry, you would have to go to the other side. Imagine me that I entered early, I was already here, then I said I should go to the other side. The queue was so long, oh God, I was so mad. And then that queue wasn't even moving at all compared to, where we were, and things were moving so, like, it was so fast at that other end. There was even somewhere to sit, not like we're standing, we're seated though. And then I was on this queue. I don't know, that queue was so slow. The officers that were attending to people on that queue, they were not as fast as those at that other end. Then they were also like taking breaks in between. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they would have to like, and then, it depends on, compared to that place where it was fast, that other side, they would ask you questions. Where are you going to? What school are you going to? What are you going to study? And so I was on that queue, and I was getting really agitated because my next flight was supposed to be for 1:15 or so. I think it was going to be for 1:15. So I was already, worried. I was panicking. I didn't want to like miss my flight or anything. No, my flight was supposed to be for 2:15 because it was initially for 12:15. But Ethiopian Airline, they rescheduled it and changed my time to 2:15. That's their business. I don't know why. So I was already panicking because time was going, time was ticking. Like, I don't know my way around. I still have to ask questions to be able to navigate, and I didn't want to be stressed. Imagine, I was really prepared for this. Like, I prepared my mind mentally for the stress. So all the stress that I've been going through, even at Ethiopia, at Addis Ababa, where we were standing and moving for 2 hours, like, I wasn't stressed at all because I'd already prepared my mind for it. I'd seen videos, everything, so I was ready. So I was not stressed. So now imagine, it's now last minute that I was going to be stressed. I know. Finally, it was finally. In fact, before it became my turn, the guy would come again from that room that I was before to come and say, any student here, it will take them, it will go. Then he now wanted to take me, and I said, oh, you're lovely. I was the one that brought you here. And I said, oh, you have to be here. At that point, I was so worried already that, hey, what's going on? Why did they bring me here? Why are they taking some people there? Hey, is everything okay like this? So it was finally my turn, and the officer that attended to me, he just said, oh, hello. And then he was like, oh, what's your name? He collected my passport. He said, where are you going to? He said, what purpose are you in Canada for? I said, to study. He said, okay, what's the name of my school? I said the name of my school. Then he asked for my school fee receipts. That's my TEDx copy, the deposits that I made in my school. So he asked for the receipt. I gave it to him. And he was like, oh, my school is in British Columbia. I said, yes. And I said, oh, that means I have a flight to catch to British Columbia. Then I said I have a flight to catch, but not to British Columbia. Then he said, oh, let me see your tickets. So as I was about to bring out my ticket, I had to explain to him that, oh, my flight is not to British Columbia yet, though, that I'll be stopping at Ottawa. So I explained to him why I'll be stopping at Ottawa. So I just told him that, oh, my accommodation in British Columbia hasn't been finalized yet. So it will be finalized by December 20th. So that's why I'll be staying in Ottawa since I have a relative there. And I was like, oh, that's fine. Then I showed him my tickets to, British Columbia, and he was like, oh, perfect. So I knew that I was cleared. Then it was time to print out my study permit. He now told me that I had 150 debt to my name. I'm owing 150. I mean, how am I owing? What did I do? So, because he does not know what the debt is for exactly, that he's not sure that. So, but I should sit down and he will try to see what he can do about it and try to see if he can print out my study permits now, and so I can go. So I just sat down, and then he called some of his colleagues. They discussed. I wasn't panicking or scared at that point because the officer was so calm. Like, there was just something about him that just made me calm. Like, he didn't make me uncomfortable. Like, he was really calm and he was very helpful. So I sat for he said, oh, I know that you have a flight to catch, so I'm going to try all my possible best to make sure that this is fast and sorted as soon as possible. So I sat, and in like few minutes, like maybe say 20 minutes, he called me to take my study permit. Then he wrote like a phone number to call when I get home, and maybe an email address in case the number doesn't pick my call to find out what the debt is about, so that I can clear it as soon as possible, because I might not be able to get my SIN or access student benefits if there are any benefits that they would give in the nearest future or anything. So, and I got my study permit, and I had to start hurrying to go and get my bags and also catch my connecting flight to Ottawa. I finally found where to pick my bags. Guess what? Bag me to fire. My bag my bag had torn, like the one for my clothes. Like, it was so bad that I could not even carry it. Actually, the person that attended to me, and I told her that, okay, can I get a nylon or something to like wrap the bag? So she gave me like a very big and thick nylon. So I put the bag, she joined me, she helped me to put the bag in it. I tied it. I had to go and look for where to connect my flight. Like I said, ask questions. There are signs everywhere. No, even if you can, like, even without the signs, there are officers everywhere to attend to you, to give you answers to your questions. So I finally found where to drop off, because you have to drop off your bag. So I finally found where to drop off my bag, and I went to go and, go through all the boarding gate process and all of that. I went through all of that. There was a point where they had to open my bag. So the guy, like, he literally opened my bag, brought out everything. He said that the machine was showing that I had something in my bag. When he checked it, he didn't see anything. And then I had like roll-on and like a alcohol spray, and it was like, oh, is this all the liquid I have? I said yes, and I said, oh, that's fine, because the machine is just showing him that there's something, but like, he can't see anything, so I can go. In the process of packing my bags, I did not know that in the process of packing my bags, I dropped my phone. So I was already heading towards my gate, and I said, let me buy water. As I was buying water, I wanted to pay the woman with my debit card. That was how I noticed that, my phone is not here. I started looking for my phone. I was already panicking. I started looking for my phone. And the funny thing is, my cousin was going to be at Ottawa Airport to pick me up. I don't know number or found or anything. I just needed my phone. The woman was saying, oh, you need to calm down, check your bag properly, maybe it's in your bag. I was not even listening to her. I just wanted to pay her. I even wanted to say, I'm not buying it again. But I needed that water. So I tried on my best to buy the water. Bear in mind that my flight was for 2:15. All this thing that I'm telling you was already like 2:05. And I went back. Because I remember that when the guy was searching my bag, I still pressed my phone there. I was replying in the chat. So I know that, okay, fine, my phone should not pass that place. So I decided to run back there to go and check. The escalator was not working. And the stairs, it was so long, I had to like start running up the stairs. So I finally got back there. My phone was inside the bowl there. I picked my phone and I started to look for my gate again. By this time, it was already like 12:13. 2:13. I had to start running. Oh, Jesus. By the time I ran again, I passed my gate. I saw one officer there, and I asked him, oh, I'm going to gate 33. He said, oh, D33. He said, oh, that I passed it, I have to go back. I ran back again, and I went to D33. They attended to me. They were like, they don't think there's a flight for 2:15, or that the flight already left. Okay. The other person that was next to me, and I said that, that there's supposed to be a flight for 2:15. They checked, and I noticed that, that it's not that gate. Which that was the gate that was shown on my ticket. They told me that, I should go to Prayer Gate to get D37 or so. And I was already sweating. I was all over the place. And the person that was at the boarding pass, whatever that place is, she was telling me that, that I'm right on time, that I can relax now, and all of that. So I finally boarded. Oh God, I was a mess. By the time I found my seats, the man that was sitting next to my seat was like, this is my seat. I said yes. He saw the way I was. He was like, just relax, you're right on time. Then he collected my hand luggage and placed it over at the overhead. Is it cabin? Yeah. And then, yes, and I boarded my flight straight to Ottawa, and in about 45 minutes, we landed in Ottawa. I picked my bags, waited for my cousin, and we came home, sweet home. Yeah, so that's all that happened in my travel gist. I don't know if I missed out on any details, but I hope that you enjoyed this my gist. I'm not a good gist giver, but I tried my best. Yes, please don't forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what type of content you'd like to see. I really want to know, so that I can bring you content that you will enjoy. Yes, thank you guys for watching. Like my video, leave a comment, subscribe, and share my video. Bye.